basically,
Yes.
when there was a point where my brain could do things that I wanted it to do, like, I don't know, oh, I want to be good at this.
Play squash.
And then yeah, whatever it was, Warhammer, squash, maybe not squash physically, I can't keep up with that, but
remember things.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm going to remember my mum's birthday or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then near the time, my brain would be like, oh, you wanted to remember your mum's birthday, right? Well, it's coming up next week, so you better do that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, you want to remember your rules for 40k so you can win or something. I'm like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that rule. But every year, the people come to me and they give me badges and stuff, and the number just keeps going up. It's up to 39 now, right?
I had no idea what you're talking about, but go on.
Well, yeah, it's this weird ritual that some people do.
Right.
And I've got to say, my brain doesn't do the things that it did like 10 of those ago.
Okay.
When the number was lower, like 27, for example,
Yeah.
did loads of stuff. Brain worked. I could remember things. 10 of those later,
right.
nothing.
Have you thought about taking it in for a service, maybe getting an oil change, something like that?
I tried. So I got one, you know those cotton wool buds
Yes.
things?
Yes.
My wife just tells me to do this. I put it in my ear and I kind of...
Don't do that.
Get the stuff out.
Don't do that.
No?
No. You should never put the cotton buds in your ear.
Yeah, but that's how you...
They even put it on the side of the packaging for the cotton buds. Do not stick this in your ear. Shall I tell you why?
Because it pushes the wax further in.
No, because when you get to the age of 50, you've cleaned out your ear so many times and so often with the cotton buds all the time that your ear is just this dried. There's no more in there. So you need the phlegm, you need the snot, you need the tears, and you need the slime to make the things do what they do. And if you it's dry as the Nevada desert.
So you're saying you run out of all the slime if you keep taking it out, and then you can't function.
Kids, if you're listening, are we recording? Don't stick the things in your ears.
Okay, don't do that. But I was going to say, I've got this other device, and I honestly, real talk now, if you guys out there, you want to get your ears like so clean that you can hear in HD after you clean them, like you go, oh my God, is this what hearing is actually like?
Yes.
You get this thing off Amazon, it's like a tenner, and it comes with all these little like white corkscrew things, and you twist it round in your ear, and it's like a drill, and it pulls everything out, and it's like afterwards you get like this, you can hear crisp sounds that you couldn't hear before. You get loads of frequencies back that you never had before. It's great.
This is a lie. This is just no, because as that number gets higher, the ears will go, the sight will go, it all starts falling apart. It all gets worse. Yeah. So don't give yourself false hope, okay? Embrace the decline. Never stick it in your ear. If she asks you as well, stick it in my ear. You can stick it in lots of places, but don't stick it there. No.
All right. Ears are off the menu.
Ears are off the menu.
We want slime in there. We want slime in here. We want slime just about everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. We're starting off with a nice public service announcement here. Little PSA. Keep the slime in. Don't stick stuff in your ears. And as you get older, you're going to fall apart anyway. So there's nothing you can do about it. The relentless march of time and entropy will be the death of us all.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to the SDC. Hi, my name's Warsmith Chris.
Hi, my name's Winters SEO. Hi, how we doing?
Yeah, we're doing great, aren't we? We did. People have been spoilt recently. I think we did a couple in a row. We got 2 episodes out in a row. I think.
Yeah.
Don't get used to that, guys.
No.
That was just one night we just really went through it. We're like, we're gonna power through this.
We kept going.
But this, we're officially like on the lead up to Christmas now. We're in what are we on? 7th of December.
Is that when we're recording this? It doesn't come out till Tuesday. You're letting people see behind the curtain.
Oh, don't see. No, we're recording it on Monday night.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We're recording this on the 13th. When is Tuesday?
Yeah.
Past?
Yeah, we recorded this earlier today. So if you're seeing this now,
the 13th is the Wednesday. We're recording this on the 11th.
The 11th.
Trust us. Everything we say on this show is factual and true.
Yeah. absolutely, we'd never lie to you. So it's the 11th today, and that's quite far into Christmas. Like we're halfway, nearly halfway there. Close enough.
Have you got your things up?
I've got things up.
Yeah.
I've got the little Christmas guy out. The guys, the Christmas guys, they're out.
Yeah,
and the tree's up.
Nice.
And I've got things. I've got models. I've got Warhammer and stuff on my Christmas list that I want to get.
Well done. That's good. That's good.
Can't wait for it. Really.
Have you been a good boy this year, though? That's the question.
I mean, it's a mixed bag, really. But Santa's usually cool with it. I often on Christmas Eve I do a little thing. I get it off my chest. I'm like, okay, well, this year I did do this, and yeah, I did do that, and I did that thing as well, which is very bad. And we don't forget about that. But please forgive me because I really want toys this year, and every year he seems to pull through.
Nice.
Comes down the chimney, puts it in. So,
what is the number one toy thing on the toy list?
This year I've gone. No, I didn't. You know what? This year I didn't go for like a. Oh, can you get us this one thing? I asked for Khan the Betrayer. So
nice. Yeah,
he's coming. I've asked. I don't know if it's out yet, but I asked for it anyway. I said if it comes out, there's that Simon
and Garfunkel.
No, what's his name? He does a Night Lord series, like the second best known Night Lord series. It's called Lord of the Night. Simon something or other. He doesn't write for Games Workshop anymore.
Okay.
And no one could use his characters, but he did some good Night Lords books.
Okay.
But I asked for that in actual paper instead of a man reading it, instead of Jonathan Keeble
or
reading
Toby
it.
Longworth, those two.
Yeah. Or the other one
good.
that I really like, the one that did
Toby Longworth and Jonathan Keeble, those are the two.
No, there's a better. Hang on.
No, those are the two. Trust.
I tell you what. Whilst Jonathan Keeble is a great dude.
Yeah.
The guy who reads the Night Lords trilogy,
right,
is amazing. His voice is like.
Is it Andy Serkis?
No, it's not Andy Serkis.
Have you finished Lord of the Rings yet?
I finished Lord of the Rings. Fantastic. I've got the Silmarillion and the Hobbit on ready to go if I want to read them. I'm taking a little break and going back to Warhammer stuff.
Right.
I'm actually listening to Black Legion at the moment.
Have you listened to it before? It's good.
No, I listened to Town of Horus.
Yeah.
But I never got round to listening to Black Legion, so I started that. I can't find this. Anyway, the bloke who does the Night Lords ones, his voice is silky smooth.
Comment section, this is what you're paid for, get in there. Unpaid interns, obviously, but this is what you're unpaid for. Get in there. Who's the guy?
Who's the guy?
Who's the guy?
I don't know who the guy is.
Well, if it's not Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble, honestly, inquiring minds don't want to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right, I've got some hobby questions I want to talk to you about.
Go for it.
Things.
How do people get hobby questions to the standard STD?
Well, this is my hobby question, but but we are going to do some other questions from the people. So,
right, sorry, I jumped
but this
the
is
gun.
It's all right. You can jump the gun, but we're going to do questions in a bit. And when you do that, if you want to send the questions in to us, and actually, there's been a lot of new people this week, so this is good. People are getting the word. We've got new faces, new names. It's great. You can sign up. You can become a member on the YouTube channel here. And I think if you're
SEO,
Winter's SEO.
Yeah, that one, not
not the
cats
other
are
one.
great or something.
You can sign up for that if you want.
Well, yeah, I mean, cats are great.
They're all right. They're decent.
They took over the internet.
They did. They won the internet. They
won the internet without even trying.
No, they just played the piano or something, and that was it. That's all they needed. But sign up to his YouTube channel anyway, and then you can become a member, and then you can join the Discord, and then in the Discord there's a place that you can go called the STC Questions, and then there's even another thread there where you can go in and talk about stuff that was talked about in the questions.
The STC discussion, because what we talk about in this podcast is so profound that people would need to discuss it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially what kind of accents the different legions would have. That one had quite a big
did it?
A big conversation.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
But anyway, pulling back from that, there's a couple of questions. First of all, Horus Heresy Legionis 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 Imperialis.
Yes.
It's out now, right? You can buy all the
yes.
bits. Yeah, you can get bits for it.
Okay.
Well, no, I just want as a Horus Heresy aficionado yourself. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yeah, is it?
Okay, we're talking about unpaid interns. My brain can only take a couple of things. 40k, Horus Heresy, this is where we are, and all the factions, all the stuff, and all that. It can only take a couple of things. So there are a couple of unpaid interns that you may have heard of called Sultan and Monkey.
Oh, very
working
unpaid.
Hard, working diligently in the background to get some armies put together and play a couple of games and have some fun. And then once they've done that, past those couple of hurdles, they'll come here and play it. And then once I've seen it played on the table, then I'll let you know what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you where I'm at with it, right?
Yes.
I've seen some of the controversy about the kind of ropey infantry models. I don't know if you've seen that. Kind of zoomed in. They've got weird. They've been weirdly designed. We're in an age where people can resin print like 3mm soldiers in perfect detail.
Okay.
And these Space Marines, they've got like when they're holding a rocket launcher, the plastic connects them. Like there's just a line of plastic connecting to their bodies and stuff.
Okay.
So they lose a lot of detail, but you're not really going to see it when they're on the table.
They're tiny men.
They're very tiny men.
Tiny.
Now I love the Horus Heresy, right?
Tiny.
Very small men. In the books, a lot of stuff that happens in the books is quite epic, right? It's not really as small scale. There's lots of big battles where like a Titan walks in as well, and there's tons of stuff going on. And as much as the tabletop game does allow for that, it's quite an expensive thing to do. So I really felt like my imagination would soar with one of these forces. And on top of it, it looks really easy to paint and get ready. But I think what I'll do is I'll wait for the interns to come and do their thing, and I'll watch it and see where we go from there. Because you could whip up a legion in a weekend, right?
Do you think it was the wrong game at the wrong time?
I think it probably is, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think it might be the wrong game because you can't play Orcs or Eldar. So it's set in Heresy. And I think it might be the wrong time because another edition of 40k came out this year. If they'd have left it for a year or so.
Personally, if they'd left it for a year, or if they'd waited for all the codexes to come out for 10th edition, left it a little bit, and then done 40k Epic re-release, I think that would have done big, right? Because I know a lot of people that could be lured back in for Epic 40k, who maybe have sort of drifted away from regular 40k, or had good memories of it when they were younger, and Epic would present another way to play it and play all your fun factions. But yeah, you're right. Horus Heresy is an odd choice and time, but we've seen them shoot themselves in the foot a lot recently.
I was going to make a whole video about it. Wrong game, wrong time.
Yeah,
I had ideas and everything, but then I didn't do it because I couldn't be bothered.
I think it's good that you couldn't be bothered because you know what? I think there's probably 1,000 YouTubers out there who have jumped on the internet to make a comment about how something's bad or something's wrong or something. It's about time we've spread some positivity.
I know. I don't want to add to the negativity. I do from time to time on things. Obviously, we all like a good moan, a good rant.
Yeah.
But I try not to. You know.
Yeah. For those that didn't watch your in-depth dives into the new Robot Men of both flavors codices.
Yes.
How are you feeling about those? How are you feeling about Necrons first of all?
The Necrons is good. That codex is one of the best codexes since 8th launched. It's a very good book. There's lots of depth in it, lots of flavour in it, lots of narrative stuff in it. It's pretty good. Obviously, if it wasn't, there's addition questions and how they could have made it differently and how they could have made it better. But as far as it goes, it's not overly complicated. I like it. I like the robot men's.
I really like the fact that you can kind of draw your power nexus up as you go. I think that's just a really cool narrative touch.
Yeah.
And as a Necron player, I think I'd like to I think I'm quite looking forward to giving them a go.
Yeah.
I watched that bit. I didn't pay any attention to the AdMech stuff because I've got no interest in them. But what's the AdMech codec saying? Is it?
I barely looked at it. Again, brain is only so large, so I can only fit a certain amount of things in at any one time. I will get to the AdMech. Lots of people asking me about the AdMech. I will get to them at some point, but I am not massively. I'm not inspired by the AdMech since the start of this edition. I need some time for this wound to become a scar.
Yes. I find AdMech aesthetically a fantastic faction. I love the idea of AdMech in the lore as well, but I don't think they've ever really been realised properly on the table.
Well,
oh, hang on, you
say aesthetically it's a fantastic faction, right?
Yes.
In Heresy, you've got those cybernetic constructs, you've got Thanatage, you've got clockwork tanks, you've got Myrmidons, you've got a bulky, intimidating-looking force firing out things like graviton weapons and irradiation engines, things like that.
Yes.
From the Dark Age. And then, in 40k, we get stuff like that.
I loved that model so much. Please don't destroy it. Please don't melt it.
Now, I like the model. I'm definitely going to stick him in my armies. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and I like stupid and ridiculous. I mean, I talk to you. So I love these models, but little Timmy walking past a Warhammer store has got to see that and go, oh, I really want one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Not a dragon, not a demon, not a big clockwork tank or Myrmidons or Thanatar siege engines. It's got to look at that and go, yeah, I want that in my life. I want that. I want 3 of them.
Yeah. We had a chat about him last time. I expressed the fact that I like him, but I'm not going to argue that he isn't absolutely absurd in the wrong way. And then you got things like Vashtor the Archaphane, who, if you put him in a shop window, he gets like no attention whatsoever. How amazing is his model? Yeah. He's like such a great model, and he's just been like swept away. It's like forget about him. We'll just put little Timmy on his sticks out. I've never seen Vashtor in person. He's never been in a display in a window. He's never been,
Who's the other fellow though? The Demon Prince of Demon Princes, painted black. That guy, that sculpt with the big wings.
Be'lakor.
Be'lakor, yeah.
He's incredible as well.
Stick him in a window. Stick a Bloodthirster in a window. Stick stuff like that in a window. They're great.
Yeah, Shalaxi Hellbane, one of my favourite sculpts of forever. Like of new sculpts, I feel like that Shalaxi Hellbane was like an ingenious thing. It was, the Keeper of Secrets is great, but like Shalaxi was even better with the big spear and everything. You don't see him. It's
got a X factor, wow factor. It's got to be. You see Be'lakor, you're like wow, and little Timmy, wow. How many little Timmys? I like see that and go wow.
As little Timmy, like a big part of like walking past the Games Workshop in the early 90s. And looking in the window, like at that time, the sculpts. We look at them now and we think, oh, they look a little bit silly, but like Terminators were incredible back then, right? Even though they're all squat and everything, but everything was like that. The plastic Space Marines from 2nd edition, with their monopose, if you had them all painted and stood in a line with their heraldry on and everything, they look incredible.
Yeah,
and that really got me into it, and it's just very bizarre. You tend to get most Games Workshops or Warhammers that I go past have got like a couple of Necron warriors with maybe a Scorpek or something, and a couple of Space Marines like running at each other just on a bit of table. We need to go back to crazy good dioramas. And Be'lakor.
It's the Games Workshop, not the store managers, but the area managers say, oh, those are in the Indomitus box, or that's why you had the Necrons. And now it's like, oh, those are in the Leviathan box, so all the models from the Leviathan box are all in the windows all the time. And then some of the other new stuff in the windows. And that's all it's just,
What about this, right?
Go on.
What about... You know the diorama at Warhammer World that everyone loves and stuff. The reason why people love that is because it's absolutely ridiculously epic in scale, right?
Yeah.
I think if they redid it now, it would be even better. But it's epic. Why don't you have a massive demon prince standing on a hill with like 100 demons running down, and then you've got like the new Terminators just at the bottom of the hill, completely surrounded, and you just pack loads of I mean, what kid would walk past that and be like, "That looks boring"? You know, that would be so good.
That'd be amazing.
I'd love it. So there we go. We've got the Horus Heresy LI. We've got the Necron Codex. We've got the Admech Codex. I think that's like everything that's kind of popped up since we last
this year. Assault Marines for Horus Heresy are a thing, and
they've
announced the roadmap thing for next year, so we know that orcs are coming in the spring and things like that. So.
Yes, and those Assault Marines will make great Raptors for Chaos players who want to do a little bit of converting, especially. Since the kill team, the Night Lord's kill team was revealed since we last spoke. Actually, that was pretty. Wow. Okay, so they didn't go crazy on it. It's clearly an upgrade sprue for the Legionaries kit, which is fine. You know, we haven't had that for Chaos really. They did have a resin one before, but it was real special.
Resin.
Yeah, it was the Finecast one was real special.
Resin.
But yeah, damn, I think it's really good. I'd like to see more of them. I don't know whether it's just a replacement, whether it's part of this thing of replacing all the Finecast kits and they had to replace the Night Lords one and did this, or whether it's a plan they're going to make them for all the legions. We'll see. But take those heads, stick them on those new Assault Marines. You got yourself Night Lords Raptors.
Yeah.
Completely new plastic.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So there we go. And we've got lovely new sculpted plastic Night Lord shoulder pads, so you don't have to get the weird Forge World ones from Heresy as well. Win-win all round.
Win-win. You're full of ideas. It's spilling out of you this evening. I love it. Yeah.
Right. We've got lots of questions.
Nice. Let's do this.
From lots of new people. And old people.
Are any of them good?
None of them are good. They're all bad.
No. Okay.
But that's how we roll now.
Yeah.
They're not loading.
I mean, the questions, honestly, other people who watch this video who aren't part of my community and listen to the community questions that my community asks are probably wondering, what's that community? They're a bit.
Well, I challenge thee.
Yes.
I challenge thee. If you think the questions, if you think that the current community members are putting out some lame you're like, man, these questions suck. I've got a really good lore question. Then just come and ask it. I pinned nearly all of them. So come along. Ask it and we'll answer it. We're not like...
Someone needs to raise the IQ in this room.
Yeah.
A professor joined the Discord the other day. Professor Dr. Butt or someone. I said hello to him. It's nice to have a professor in there.
Yeah.
Even if he's just a professor of Dr. Butts.
Yeah, but butts need studying too, so that's fine.
They do, yeah.
Right, here we go. In no particular order. Our first question is from Tomo91, who might be...
Hello, Tomo91.
Might have had a Tomo91 before, not sure. This is just a little collecting question. Right. What 40k armies that you don't currently own would you like to start collecting?
Well, you go first, what I think.
Yeah, I simply would like them to release Emperor's Children and I'd collect those. But if I had to pick one that existed, I'd quite like to dabble in Genestealer Cults or Leagues of Votann. One of the newer kind of weirder ones, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty happy working on Chaos and Orcs at the moment, so
yeah.
There's
the Imperial stuff. I mean, what Imperial haven't I got? I mean, God, I'm getting there. Sisters, it's nice. Sisters is not, but I've got Melters and Flamers and Rhinos and things. Different way to play. So then Xenos wise, I haven't got Tau. And then there's that other one with the spiky ears, but we don't talk about them. So not them. None. None is my answer.
I think some of the other factions, like Tau, and Sisters, they're connected to a playstyle, right? Sisters are an Imperial Horde army. They play kind of differently to Space Marines, even though they have the same kind of weapons. And Tau are pretty much just a shooting army. So if you're not into that, you'll never really... Even if you love the models and stuff, it will never really be a good fit.
Yes.
I'm not sure that Tau make the best battle reports depending on how you play them. There's ways you can play them to make them exciting.
See, the thing is, they were singing by the end of 9th. There's a couple of ones that I did with Sultan, and then in 8th we did the Sunstrike campaign. They've had periods where the rules for Tau have been really good. But unfortunately, they've also had periods where the rules for Tau have been absolutely terrible, and they don't either function very well, or they're just plain terrible, or they don't function like Tau at all.
No.
And so if you're a Tau player, it's been a roller coaster of ups and downs. But as the great poet Ronan Keating once said, life is a roller coaster. Just got to ride it.
Just got to ride it.
All night long. I need you, so don't fight it.
Beautiful. This person is called the Real Evil Genius. So
nice.
Another, if the Professor of Butts isn't going to raise the IQ, then a genius, even if they're real evil, has got to raise the bar.
I'm just pleased he's a member of my community. Thank you.
Yeah. This is this is a law question, kind of. What's one 40k character that you would like to see return or have a more prominent role in the lore? I think we've answered questions similar to this before. I feel like
character.
Yeah, I feel like I guess Sevatar doesn't count then because he's not a 40k character, he's a 30k character.
The Lion. I'd like to see him return and have a more prominent play. And oh, wait, he's back. So pick another Primarch, one of them.
It doesn't have to be a Primarch. It could be someone else.
But the question is what 40k character?
Yeah.
And I would like to see another Primarch back.
Okay. I'd like to see the Emperor back then. There you
go. Okay. Nice.
There we did it. This one is from Kai Hash 3422. So I think this is the 3,422nd Kai.
Not the 23rd?
No.
Okay.
This is a silly question. If the other one did something very naughty, to which 40k planet would you send them in order to think about their mistakes?
Medrengard.
Medrengard, the fortress place, yeah?
It's not nice.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? And neither... Is Barbarous still around? Or is it...
It might be, but it's probably a lump. Any traitor Primarch home planet is pretty much just an asteroid now.
Yeah.
Or pieces of asteroids.
Pieces of asteroid, yeah. Planet of the Sorcerers might be... I'll tell you what, the Planet of the Sorcerers...
Yes.
...would be very confusing for you. Your brain would have to try and understand like 4D objects and stairs that went upside down and stuff, and I think it would just explode. You'd just be like...
A Picasso type place.
Yes.
It would be... Yeah. That would be a good place. I like it.
Everyone's favourite American from the Pretzel County.
Is it Wrath of Constantine?
It's Wrath of Constantine.
Hello, Wrath.
Every week he's always there with a question. And I appreciate that. There's a few people like that, always there.
Yeah.
Rue's one of them. Rue's got a question in there. And
okay.
Talking of people with questions.
Yes.
The last episode, I did a question from Commander Neve, right? Neve. And you said, that's a difficult name. They should be called Commander N.
Yes.
And they went and changed their name to Commander N. So it's another... You've named another person.
Brilliant.
And that's a whole list of people that have just been arbitrarily renamed.
By me?
Just on a whim, yeah. Okay.
Did I put the Warsmith in front of Chris?
No, you didn't, no.
I didn't, no.
No, so what happened was...
It's good. If it already came with one, that's good. Because there's so many Chris's, it's nice to distinguish yourself from other Chris's who might not be the Warsmith.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. So, it's a boring story. I'm not even going to bother with it. But I was doing Iron Warriors, and I very rapidly needed to change my name because my name was really weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Wrath of Constantine asks, if the Necron take too long to fully wake up before the Tyranids devour the entire galaxy, what will the Necron do with just an empty galaxy?
Well, I think Wrath of Constantine is once again proving that he is a stupid American. Because the galaxy is really big. They're going to wake up. Do you know how long? This is the thing about the Prior Nexus and all these things. There's There's so much galaxy. I think the galaxy is like 100 billion stars. Again, the comment section, check me on this one. So
many stars.
If the Tyranids consumed all the planets around 100 stars a year, every single year, that's 1 billion years to do the whole galaxy. The Necrons have only been asleep for 60 million years. So if it takes them 60 million years to wake up, which is as long as they've been asleep for, which is a very long, they'll still be fine. So, Wrath, thank you for your question, but go away and think about what you did.
So what you're saying is maths, Wrath. It's going to take too long.
Yeah, it's and you're from America where everything is big.
Yeah.
And you say funny things like, instead of aluminium or inventory or oregano, you say other weird words instead. You're from a strange... What?
Aluminum.
Yeah, that one.
Oregano.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Sorry?
Inventory.
What do they say instead of inventory?
Inventory or something?
Inventory, and they say data instead of data.
Yeah.
Data.
Why?
Put the data in the computer. It's like, come on.
It's the King's English. Learn it. Come on now.
Don't destroy our language, guys. Come
on.
Anyway.
We gave you many things like syphilis. At least keep hold of the language.
Plumbing. I don't know. Roads. What else
did we give them? Roads?
I feel like this is actually what the Romans gave to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We definitely gave them. We definitely gave them warhammers.
Yes, we did give them warhammers.
We give them warhammers. They should be eternally grateful for that one.
Exactly. They gave us Twinkies. Have you ever had a Twinkie? Yeah.
I've had a Twinkie.
Very sickly.
It is a bit. Yeah.
They put too much sugar in everything. It's like, okay, I get it. You like to have sweet things and sweet, but you don't actually have to put that much sugar. You don't need 45 grams of sugar in a Coke. You know. Anyway.
They also gave us. They also gave us the Golden Girls. That was quite nice of them.
Yeah. And smoked meats, like how to smoke meats good.
Was that barbecue. The Romans? Was that the Romans? I felt like the Romans are probably good at burning things.
Yeah. The South Africans gave us really good barbecued chicken.
Did they?
Yeah.
Or did we just take it from them?
Or we took it. I don't
it's hard to tell in our. Probably we took it.
Yeah.
When I say we, not me or you.
Not me. No, we didn't.
Okay, we're talking like in the old days, people were really shitty.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
These days, people are only partially shitty, and we're not taking much from anyone these days because we're feeling a bit guilty, so we're staying a bit quiet in our corner of the world. Just don't be shitty.
Don't be shitty, guys. Come on.
No, be excellent to each other.
Talking of shitty.
What? Yes.
that was so unfair and so unnecessary. This is a question from Rue. It said...
Rue, step up now. Wrath has let the regulars down.
You're not going to like this question. It is a shitty question, but it is a question that I think does benefit like people in general. Okay? So Rue wants to know at £4.50 for 8 pigs. Sorry. At £4.50 for 8, are pigs in blanket worth it? Now, my opinion on this is yes, right? Pigs in blankets, it's, you know, if you're into pork, if you're a pork eating person, it's double pork. It's the two good ones, sausage and bacon.
Yeah.
Wrapped together. And I think when it comes to Christmas time, if you don't spend that £4.50 for 8 pigs in blankets, you've really just done yourself a disservice, Rue. So, yes.
8, though, for £4.50. Do you remember? You're old. Well, you're not that old, but do you remember? Do you remember having 10p when you were younger and buying a lot of sweets with 10p? That would keep you going for some time.
I could get 10p sweets. So that was probably in the, the 1910s or 20s or whatever it was when you were getting 10p. By my age, in the late 80s, early 90s, a 20p piece at the post office.
Yeah.
20p sweets. If you wanted to go a bit crazy, you get the 2p ones. Never go for like a 10p thing, like or it was 5p. Yeah. Refreshers bars were a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But you could get those giant cola bottles for like a few p.
Yeah.
20p went a long way for a kid. Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with a few p.
Cans of Coke were like 35p though. I mean, we lived in a different time.
I know, and now it's £4.50 for 8 pigs in blankets.
Yeah, I know. What happened?
What happened?
It's crazy.
Yes, they're worth it. Of course they're worth it. They're pigs in blankets. As far as top tier food, if we go for S tier food and we put them in the things, they're right up there.
Yeah, sausages are up there, to be honest. Good sausages. Not bad.
Well,
ones.
it's mainly the bacon thing, isn't it? Bacon is better. Bacon is just king.
Bacon's really good.
Yeah.
One of my directors at the place I work bought us all bacon sandwiches this morning, and I thought,
did he?
That's probably the best thing you could possibly do for someone.
Yeah,
is just give them bacon in a roll with ketchup or brown sauce.
What was in it? Ketchup or brown sauce? Daddy sauce or the thing?
I went for red sauce.
Yeah.
Some people went for brown sauce. I don't have a problem. I can eat both. I just fancied red sauce today. So there you go. You alright with that?
I haven't had daddy sauce. No, yeah, that's fine. I haven't had daddy sauce for time, man. I miss daddy sauce.
It doesn't really. I don't really like it with anything else though.
It's
so it's not a good sauce to have.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It's not a good sauce to put. Like ketchup goes with most things.
Yeah.
But daddy sauce only goes with what? Fry-ups, bacon rolls, and that's it.
And you have those sauces that go in like the fridge or something.
Yeah.
And it's been in there, and you look at the side of it. It says something like once opened, used within like 4 weeks or something.
No, they're lying. They're lying to you.
Yeah, but you look at it, you're like, I think I've had this for about a year and a half. And then I just put it on my food anyway.
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
I do wonder why I've always got a big tummy ache. Right. William Wills. Love the name.
Hi.
Ooh, can you guys recommend the best orc-centered Black Library book on Audible? I think I'm probably the one equipped to do this because I think we discovered already that you hadn't listened to the good ones.
I've done one.
What was it?
No, it was a Death Guard one, and there was orcs in it.
Ah, okay. So you haven't got a great choice because orcs are often just incidental baddies, often. But there's one called Brutal Cunning, which is fantastic. We've talked about it on this podcast before. It's about some bad moons, and they're attacking a forge world. Great fun. They've got a new one that's just come out. It's set on a bunch of war bosses on another planet. I started it. Didn't hold me the same way as Brutal Cunning did, but I'll go back to it at some point. Brutal Cunning, and also you've got Ghazghkull, Prophet of the War. But I'd start with Brutal Cunning. That's great.
Boom.
There you go, William Wills. Let us know how you get on with that if you listen to Brutal Cunning, because I'm a big fan of it. You can just tag me in the thing or something. I don't know. However people get hold of people. Right. Before we go on to the next question.
Yes.
If we've got this elite club thing going on, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like it. I like it because we say something absurd, and then we go to the comments section on the video, and there's all these people saying completely random things like, "Yes, hippopotamus or crab or something," and I'm sure people are like, "What the hell's going on here?" I'm drinking. This is sparkling water, by the way. It looks like a beer, but it's sparkling water.
Liquid death.
Yeah, it's just edgy sparkling water, but
edgy.
Better for the environment because you can recycle aluminum cans many times as you want. So, sparkling water or still? You let me know, and then you can join. Well, this is for the people.
That's for them
to tell us.
Yes.
That they got to this little bit.
Yes.
38. Yeah. Okay. They got to this little bit. You're going to say sparkling or still. Let me know which you like, and if you haven't tried it, this liquid death stuff.
You've got to set the scene though. It can't just be sparkling or still can change. So, for example, on a hot summer's day with some ice.
Hot summer's day.
Sparkling water's lovely.
You've been out all day
with some gin in it.
Oh yeah. Or a very Victorian thing, which I didn't know, was whiskey and soda. It was like very, very fashionable in Victorian times, and I thought, whiskey and soda. Why do you want to ruin your whiskey with soda? But it has the same effect as I think putting an ice cube in there. It does.
Was very fashionable, along with opium and child labour.
Yeah. Which I've got no problem with any of those. So
okay, good. Yeah.
Anyway, hot day. You get home from work, still or sparkling, ice cold.
Yep.
That's how you join the elite club this week.
Yep. Let us
know. Those people that have been in the elite club every single week since we started it, much love to you, honestly. That means you literally watch every single second of this.
It does cheer us up, actually.
Difficult. It
Watching
does.
those comments explode across the comment section.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
You can say other things as well. You don't just have to say that. You could like
No.
wish me a good day.
Script.
All right, fine.
Stick to the You can do the sparkling or the still, and then wish him a good day.
Yeah.
Do the thing first, script first, and then go off. Stay on the piste. You've got to be on the piste to go off piste.
Yeah. I read them all because I'm lonely. So, yeah. Right, the next. Okay, this is a silly one, but it's silly in a fun way.
Okay.
This is from Malky. I think Malky, again, all these new names, love it. Malky asks, if there was a... Do you think Malky's called Malcolm?
I hope
Malkador.
Not.
Okay, right.
I hope not. I used to know Malcolm once, and I wouldn't recommend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If your name is Malcolm, Winters doesn't recommend your name, I'm afraid.
I don't recommend your name. No.
If there
I'm afraid one of your kind let you all down.
That's how it works, though, isn't it? That's how it works. You can't. Yeah. If there was a Horus Heresy Space Marine chapter sorting hat, this is a Harry Potter crossover.
Right.
Which chapter do you think it would put you into?
Me?
Yeah. And is it the same one you enjoy playing as most on the tabletop? Forget the last bit of that question. Let's just focus on... You don't get to choose.
Yes.
Realistically, if there was a thing that drafted you into one of the chapters or legions... I know it does say Horus Heresy. Yeah, into one of the legions, back in the Horus Heresy times. So that means after we have traitors and goodies and baddies. What do you think it would put you in? And we could do each other if you want.
You? Well, you would be put in... You'd be a failed aspirant of the Night Lord's Legion, then quickly turned into a servitor. That's where you are.
That's really mean. Why would I go...
I'm just preaching the truth here, okay? I know it hurts. That's why it's called the truth. Deal with it. The truth hurts.
All right.
Right? Night Lords, because of your criminal, seedy backstory, the underbelly, all the mafioso people that you're in bed with, and the bodies, and all those things, you'd be in the Night Lords. You'd obviously failed aspirant because... Do you want me to spell it out? I won't spell it out. No. Servitor. You could be a nice gun servitor. You can kill some heretics.
Yeah, I could.
With your heavy bolter strapped in instead of...
I'll be locked into a... Yeah,
no, you'll have a heavy bolter instead of your wanking arm. No more wanking. It's just killing heretics instead to beat off to. That'll be the way to get your kicks.
All right.
Do me.
You'd... Because now you've set the tone.
Yes.
Because I wasn't going to make you a failed aspirant, but I can't fail... and then you succeed, right? That can't be how this works.
I'm definitely a failed aspirant.
You're going to be a failed aspirant of the Word Bearers Legion, right?
What?
Because you love to get up there and preach to the masses. It was your dream from, like, they got you in there. They were like, you're going to be spreading the great word and everything. You're really excited. And then you failed they put one of the organs in you and they were like, oh, he's too old. He's too old to accept the organs aren't going to work, and instead it like burst. Yeah, it went all wrong, and now you are
dead.
Dead. Yeah, you're right.
Transplant failure, death.
It's not really going to work. Yeah, you're just dead. Yeah.
Of all the legions you could have picked, the Word Bearers.
Yeah, because preachy. You actually said I'm not. The reason why I picked it is because when I asked you why I was a failed Night Lord aspirant, you can watch this if you don't believe me. You said something along the lines of that you were going to preach to me now about this, and I said, preach? That's very word bearer, isn't it? He's revealed himself.
That's a fair cop, Governor.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Stylus would obviously be 1,000 sun.
No, Stylus would want to be 1,000 sun, but you've seen his list. He's an ultramarine. He'd be an ultramarine, wishing he grew up on Tisca.
Yeah, and he'd have heretical dreams about it, and it would eat him up from the inside.
He might be the only heretical ultramarine with his lists, with his spreadsheets, with all of his things, with his theoretical and practicals, wishing when he grows up and turns into a big boy that he could go to Tisca and be 1,000 sun, but no.
Wow.
No Thousand Suns for you.
We've really
Monkey's a
gotten there.
world eater.
Monkey's a world eater, yeah, because
We agree on
if
that,
you don't
yeah.
know him, if you've never met Monkey, his real life, he's quite an aggressive, violent person, isn't he? He's very sort of action packed.
I think he's wanted in 3 countries.
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't trust him. I've said this to him before, and people have said this to him before, that we wouldn't trust him in a zombie apocalypse scenario because he'd just beat you over the back of the head with a spade,
You'd be food.
steal your tin of beans and run off.
You would be the food.
Yeah.
He'd be looking at you, sizing you up, going straight for your thighs, mate.
Yeah, it'd be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. And a few other people would be other things. And that's that.
We can't be bothered with the rest.
Yeah. They'd be other legions. Okay, thanks for the question.
That was an okay
Malky.
one.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Malky.
Well done.
Inshen, never
Inshen.
another new question asker.
Right.
What is the general thoughts on firstborn Marines being phased out, and will it have an effect on the firstborn 13th? They always bring it back to the 13th.
Yeah, I've answered this one a few times. It's a thing. There's the model range has been phased before. The model range is being phased again.
Yeah. My thoughts are that they got to move with the times. They do. They don't have to move with the times. That's not what I mean at all. That's disingenuous. No. What I do mean is they are releasing new Space Marines, which are modern sculpts, and the company is moving in the direction of appealing to the people that it wants to appeal to. It's not trying to. You've got those Space Marine models. You've got those firstborn models. You own them. You can't hold on to them. You can't go to the shop and buy your second edition models anymore. It's just the nature of the game. Things change.
One of the things that did pop into my head the other day, though, was the Land Raider, the Rhino, the Dreadnought. These chassis, which are still in the new codex, are so iconic.
Yeah.
If ever they get rid of them, it would. Normies see Land Raiders or Dreadnought. Normies know what those things are. Well, not all of them, but some of them do.
Some of them do.
So I think it would be to their detriment if they get rid of some of those things.
Let me tell you, I've mentioned this years ago.
Right.
When I say years ago, probably last year on some kind of podcast that was happening at the time.
Right.
Chaos are your firstborn faction, if you want to play firstborn. The whole Chaos Space Marine, okay, it's got different things in it, but the Chaos Space Marine faction has all your firstborn elements still ready to go. It's got your Rhinos, it's got your Land Raiders, it's got your Predators, it's got your silly things, it's got your Vindicators,
bikes.
It's got your Terminators, it's got your bikes, it's got your non-Primaris Marines.
Yeah.
It's got all the firstborn there. They're just not wearing your favourite chapter colours anymore.
Yeah.
But you should turn to Chaos and enjoy them because they get
no.
their own identity now through that.
Don't listen to the Warsmith. He's trying to turn you to Chaos. Don't listen to the voices.
I've done several people.
Yes, you've done them. Yeah, yes. But do not turn to Chaos. Instead, all your firstborn things, they're all in Heresy. Go to Heresy.
And Heresy.
Pick a Loyalist chapter.
They're all in Heresy.
The bikes are there, the speeders are there, the things are there.
Beakies.
Dreadnoughts aren't there. There's Contemptor Dreadnoughts and Derrideo Dreadnoughts and Leviathan Dreadnoughts, but there's more Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, Contemptor Dreadnoughts are beautiful as well.
Contemptor Dreadnoughts are lovely. Go to Heresy, but do not turn to Chaos. Stray from the light of the Emperor.
If you turn to Chaos, you can use your baby dreads as Hellbrutes if you want that aesthetic. Just saying, they're the right size and everything. Because baby dreads are like on their way out. Everyone loves a baby dread. Run it as Hellbrute.
Yes, but if you turn to Chaos, you'll be invited to all the wrong sort of parties.
Great parties. We have fantastic parties.
Don't.
Oh, we don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We don't want to.
No.
Yeah. Got it. Pickle Nick, a regular contributor to the questions. What legion is most underrepresented in the Horus Heresy books, and is it the same on the tabletop?
Iron Hands, maybe. They didn't get a trilogy. Salamander's got a trilogy. Raven Guard got quite a few books. Iron Hands, Shadrach Medusan was their thing, so they're pretty underrepresented.
Night Lord's underrepresented.
Fairly underrepresented, but you've got the Pharos thing and the Thramas Crusade. Prince of Lies is a really good short story. Prince of Crows, sorry,
Prince of Crows,
really good short story from the Heresy. I'm thinking probably the Iron Hands have the least coverage. Probably it's either them or the Night Lords, but I'm willing to say it's the Iron Hands. Are they the least represented on the tabletop? You don't see a lot of Iron Hands out there, do you?
Is that a joke?
What?
They were like the top meta chapter, weren't they?
For about
ages.
6 months.
Yeah, I bet millions
they
of people.
When everyone painted things black for a bit on the tournament scene.
They probably sprayed them blue or something now.
Yeah. They came and went. I saw plenty of red and blue and yellow Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Many.
Yeah.
In fact, one at a tournament, red Iron Hands at a tournament. So, yeah.
One of our cluster of folk is an Iron Hands player. I don't know what you call him. He's Jerome, the one that goes around with Jerome. That guy.
That guy. This guy.
Necromunda guy.
You've met that guy?
Yeah, he's my childhood friend. He plays Iron Hands.
What, Heresy, 40k, or both? Why hasn't he come up here and played some?
Well, let's reach out to him and get him to bring his Iron Hands up, because I know he's just finished painting a load of them for Heresy. So
yeah,
we'll
that's
get him.
my 2024 project, Iron Hands.
Well, that's cool. There you go.
I'm going to smash them.
You got any particular? Are you going to try and do the whole? They got a lot of dreadnoughts, haven't they? They're like going.
Yeah. We're gonna. Well, there's lots of different ways. I'm glad you asked, Warsmith Chris. There's lots of different ways you can play Iron Hands in Heresy. In fact, I've identified about 3 key ways you could play with Iron Hands, because they do dreadnoughts well, so there's a list. They do vehicles well, so there's a list, and they actually do infantry really well as well, with a reduced strength in all incoming shooting attacks. So there's 3 sides of them that they do very well. So that's 3 separate lists, or many types of lists when you overlap this third with that third with that third with that third. So I'm gonna go for chunks of them.
What's their special? Do they get like Gorgon Terminators or something?
They do get Gorgon Terminators, which aren't great Terminators. They're Cataphracti Terminators, but with a 5-up Feel No Pain. The 5-up Feel No Pain doesn't seem particularly strong, but when they reduce all the strength of incoming attacks by 1, it kicks off a lot more.
Yeah, it can be rude.
Than other things. So the Gorgon Terminators are nice, and they have blinding as well. If you shoot them, they can blind you because they're and they look cool. The main thing about Gorgon Terminators is they look really cool. The Medusan Immortals look really cool. So they're key stuff, and those are the only 2 key things they've got. It looks fantastic, and little Timmy would love them if he saw them on the table.
Yeah.
I'm like the stilt guy.
That poor stilt guy. Please get him in your painted up and in your dudes though, because I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him walking around on a table.
Yeah.
Just.
But you could just push him over really easily.
Yeah, I know. And I'll do that as well.
I mean, he takes
every time you looked away, just.
I know they've got a 5-up invulnerable save like other Skitarii stuff, but say he passes his 5-up invulnerable save, like he passes it. Even though he's passed it, it's going to knock him over, isn't it? He's going to
force
fall
of it.
Yeah,
and then he's going to have to get some people to help him stand back up, because you can't get up from that on your own.
He's got no knees.
No, that's awkward.
You've got magic legs, Lieutenant Dan. He's got those legs. He hasn't got bendy ones.
Yeah, bendy proper ones.
Yeah.
Same as another guy who has asked a question here. This is from Sultan, and you need to have a word with Sultan about this next time you see him.
He's beyond saving.
What is this question? Listen to this.
Okay.
If Winters and Chris morphed into a single entity, how many Monster Nitro energy drinks would it need to function on a daily basis?
Oh, that's quite a few actually.
6.
Single entity.
Yeah.
6.
6, yeah. We're just going to be draining each other's will to live. It's going to be...
Well, it's going to need at least 6 to get out of bed, and a couple of ibuprofen.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have so much ibuprofen as a single entity.
Yeah. At least 6 to wake up with.
Oh, thanks for that, Sultan. Really
thanks, Sultan.
Useful and helpful contribution. Next one is from Dante, who I'm assuming is actually Dante, who's joined.
I think it is
your Discord, and tired, so tired. Dante, he's so tired, got so much responsibility.
But
he's got to wind down with a little bit of Discord.
Well done, Dante. Thank you for defending Imperium Knights.
Yeah, thank you so much. And to get that straight after your homeworld being completely just over on my Tyranids, and it's like, oh, we've done that. Oh, I've got another job to do now. Just defend that entire part of reality. Anyway,
I wonder, does that happen? Like, people do a really good job at something that sucks, but they do a really good job with it, and because they did a really good job at this thing that sucks, they get promoted, and they're like, oh, shit.
Now I've got to do that sucky thing all the time. Dante asked specifically me here, at Warsmith Chris, does the Emperor actually have a name, or is he only known as the Emperor? I'm not equipped to know this. I mean, he was born in a region that's now Turkey, right?
Anatolia, 10,000 BC.
Yeah, so I guess he might have a Turkish name.
He was born the closest we've got, he was born next to a river, and across the other side of the river on the horizon, you could see the walls of the first city humans ever made.
Right, okay. So they called him...
He has got... So his name is Colin.
Colin, that's what I thought it was.
It's not. It's in the End of the Death, not in the End of the Death, in the Solar War, they meet Erda. There is a rather revealing conversation with John Constantine and Old Pearson and Erda about the Emperor, and she mentions at least one name that he's been called in the past.
Okay,
but they make it very clear throughout the Solar War that he's had many names, many lives,
he has,
many identities. Malcador's opening soliloquy in The End of the Death, Volume 1, where he talks about his King of Ages for an entire chapter. Mm-hmm. Malcador introduces The End of the Death, Part 1, by going, and just talking and talking and talking. And it's a really good chapter. It's really revealing. It tells you a lot about Malcador, it tells you a lot about the Emperor, it tells you a lot about the state of the war. And he drives home the fact that the Emperor wears whatever guise he needs to wear at the time. He's also had a couple of different names during the period of the Horus Heresy, like he's referred to himself as Revelation a few times. He's appeared as a character called Revelation in the Book of the Last Church and to a few others. So he wears whatever face he needs to and uses whatever name he needs to. At the time of the Imperium, or before he needed to be the Emperor, so he put that guise on. But he's had other names in the past, and one of them was definitely Colin. Or would have been.
Would have been, yeah. Thanks, Dante. Next time you see the Emperor, maybe you could ask him yourself. You're the one who should be telling us.
Yeah.
Triple D. Do you think the writers of Die Hard had any inkling of the arguments they were going to cause when they set the film on Christmas Eve?
Best Christmas movie ever.
You know the answer to that. Of course they did. Of course they sat there.
You know what? It's
let's do a Christmas film.
Because different Christmas films are the Christmas film in different countries. Mm-hmm. And so UK, USA, Die Hard seems to have turned into the Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. But I am aware that in other countries, that their other movies are their Christmas movie. So in Poland, for example, Home Alone is the Christmas movie.
Ooh, that was one for me growing up, was Home Alone.
It's on all the channels.
Yeah.
Great in the weeks running up to Christmas. You can't turn on the TV in Poland without stumbling across Home Alone on one of the channels somewhere. And I'm interested, actually, comment section, is in your particular country, is there a movie like that appears on... Like when I was growing up, for example, Wizard of Oz always appeared on Christmas on one of the channels at some point. Wizard of Oz was a thing in the 70s and 80s. It was always on over the Christmas period. I don't know why. It was on many times.
I used to
not
watch...
So much,
I think it was called A Christmas Story. It was
it's a classic.
Great film. It's the one where you're going to shoot your eye out. The kid wants an air gun, a BB gun for Christmas. Yeah. I loved that.
Christmas Story is one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah. It's great.
It's not
holds up.
It's good. It
holds up,
In IMDb's top 100, I think it's in there as well. It's one of the best.
I like Christmas films that aren't too gooey for the sake of it, and A Christmas Story is certainly, if you've never seen it, you really should watch it. It's a genuinely very entertaining, good film. It's it's like a memory of times past from someone who's an adult now.
It's just good movies. It doesn't matter whether it's Bridge Over the Dirty Dozen. It doesn't matter whether it's Die Hard, or it doesn't matter whether it's Dune. It doesn't matter which generation that movie was made. A good movie is a good movie. Like a good book is a good book, and a good song is a good song.
Yeah. Right. This is another repeat questioner.
Yeah.
Because I always say it like this: Ben or a crab?
Ben or a crab?
I've been powering through Winter's Horus Heresy reading list from a few years ago.
Well done.
I'm up to Master of Mankind, and I've noticed there's loads of notable Loyalist Marines from Traitor Legions. Yes, there is.
Yes, there
However, are there any notable Traitor Marines from Loyalist Legions? I can only think of Luther/Cypher. Good question.
Traitor Marines from Loyalist Legions. Well,
yes.
There's a few. The White Scars do a few things. There's quite a few. But they don't last very long.
There's a Raven Guard who joins and becomes a Raven Guard who's captured and becomes quite a high up commander. His tongue gets cut out in the Night Lords.
Yeah.
I guess he's not like a famous character though. Nothing quite on the scale of the goodies that came out of the Baddie Legions, who are all like quite epic heroes of their own.
There's not a lot going the other way, because that's not the way that it's, because they turned against the Emperor, so some people had to decide. The Loyalists. Also, you got to remember that Abaddon did his thing and did his fan. He had a couple of years in the making of that and set everything up ready to go. So when his fan was kicking off, you got Calth kicking off, you've got the Burden of Prospero kicking off, you've got the Dark Angels were lost in that asteroid cluster for a long time, helping out the Alpha. And the Blood Angels were sent off to the File system. So Abaddon set it all in motion. So by the time the Loyalists found out what the hell was going on, it was pretty clear which way things were going.
There's no real motivation for it to happen the other way, because we're talking about having to make a choice. You have been forced out of the status quo, and you have to make the choice to rejoin it. Whereas the Loyalist Legions there's no incentive really for them to abandon their legion and turn traitor. I'm sure it did. There are a few, but they were all under duress. They were
also
all captured or whatever.
Some of the traitor Primarchs are dicks, and you wouldn't really want to work for them.
No.
Whereas many of the Loyalist Primarchs are pretty nice guys. I mean, Corax is a nice dude. Guilliman, Sanguinius. There's many of them. But Perturabo would literally shoot the messenger sometimes, because he would hunt and kill members of his own legion. Yeah. There's a couple of
We're talking about brotherhood as well. We're talking about families. So to even to defy your legion to become a loyalist would have been a big thing to do. Like, I think a lot of the fallen Marines didn't want to, but they had to, because it was they went with their brothers. They had to do, in a lot of the Chaos centric books, you get this impression a lot, that it was kind of like, we got to stick together now. What's happened has happened.
Also, on the side of the Loyalists, so for example, the Dark Angels are a good point in question. Like, Dark Angels of Chaos. No, that's not what happened there. What happened there was a bunch of them decided not to side for Horus or the Emperor, but decided to side for themselves, for Caliban, for the Knightly Orders, for the things. That's what they decided. Sit this one, wait for it all to blow over, and then stick their heads up at the end. But as soon as you turn from the light of the Emperor, that's it. There's no coming back. But they didn't turn to Chaos.
Unless you're the Mantis Warriors or any of the other factions that in the Badab War that sided with the Baddies. They all got an out, apart from Huron Blackheart's guys.
Yeah.
So there is a way back, but it's hard. Or your dad wakes up 10,000 years later and just kind of forgives you a little bit.
Talking about way backs, there's a cool story. I forget the name of the character. There's a word bearer who went full on word bearers. I love chaos. No, and then he changed his mind after Isfahan, or later as the heresy went on. He was like, 1 minute, this is a bit too, and he changed back again, and he changed back and he went to the Ultramarines and told them about this, and he allowed this big trap to happen and loads of word bearers to get wiped out, and and then handed himself into the Ultramarines and said, I renounce all of this stuff and blah blah blah, and they then there was a big fight thing. He was managed to escape or was released, or he was one of the founding fathers of the ecclesiarchy of the new imperial cult from around the time after the heresy. He was big into it and really helping the new imperial religion take over, and then after that he went back to Ultramar and handed himself in again, and he's still there. He's still in a cell 10,000 years later, and they've opened the door a few times. There's some word bearers who went to get him once and kill him, and they break in and they kill a bunch of Ultramarines, and they get down to the cell and they're, we've come to kill you, to release you, brother, and he kills them all.
Oh.
And he sits down in the cell with the door open and waits for the Ultramarines to turn up again. He's still there. He's one of the oldest living Space Marines.
Wow.
And he's a traitor who went loyal again.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Forget his name.
Colin. John Luke asks, if Taylor Swift was a Chaos God in 40k, who would she be?
Nurgle.
Yeah. Triple D. We just done Triple D. No, we haven't. Triple D had 2 questions. That's greedy. When the Legion split into chapters after the heresy, each chapter took on new heraldry. How likely is it, in your view, that some of those new heraldry schemes were already present within the Legions as variations of the core colours of the Legion? For example, the Fulminators, Eagle Warriors, or Nova Marines. I think it was very common, because aren't the Black Templars basically decked out as Sigismund was decked out? I think that's kind of how it worked.
Yeah, they were black beforehand. Yeah, Ultramarines had not just different insignia, but they also had different plates. Not to the extent that you're thinking of now, but they were already leading a bit that way. Chapters as well. The idea of chapters started with the Blood Angels and was something that Guilliman heard about and went, ooh, and he adopted it straight away. But chapters in the Blood Angels had different markings, different colours. You had the Sanguinary Guard, they were golden. So it was already... When the Legions first set out of Terra, everyone was gunmetal grey. They earned their colours, they earned their names, they earned their reputation. Some of the Legions, by the time the heresy started, were still gunmetal grey. Or a bit darker or a bit lighter. So the Iron Hands just sprayed their stuff a bit blacker. The Iron Warriors, they still had the base colours. Death Guard around the start of the heresy as well. They were very unadorned. Some of them didn't bother that much to change their iconography.
They didn't even clean their armour, the Death Guard.
No.
Filthy.
Yes, filthy. Nurgle. But there was a bit of that already before it started, and they were proud, and it's part of the history of how the Legions functioned, how they evolved. So by the time it came to the second founding, a bunch of them were like Rauderon and people like that, who became the first chapter master of X or Y. They were more than happy to.
I was going to say the first chapter masters were the primary influence, really, for a lot of the sub chapters.
I think Rauderon is literally the first chapter master. That's one of his key names in Heresy. He literally was. He's that old when the first chapter was founded out of the Legions. He was the first. He's literally the first chapter master. He's a dude.
CJ, how should Fulgrim return, and which loyalist will return to counter him? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Fulgrim. I voiced my opinion on how upset I am about the 30k full demon form Fulgrim, and I hope everyone who buys him, it falls over and breaks their favourite vase. We don't talk about Fulgrim coming back just now, but I will return to that subject if we ever get some kind of hint that we might be onto something. But in terms of which loyalists would counter him, I mean, Bobby G is already back, who would have a major reason to come back and counter him. But he's already back, so I don't know. Who else did he really upset?
What, Fulgrim?
Yeah, I mean, he nearly killed
Perturabo.
Yeah, but he's already a traitor, Primarch.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He really upset Perturabo.
Yeah,
and he upset a lot of people. I mean, that's generally his thing.
He's an upsetting
going around upsetting people.
All of them. All the loyalists come back to counter him.
Yes.
Feshmon. Feshmon's a new one.
Hi, Feshmon.
I said use your thinking orbs to send us good questions, and Feshmon answered, are thinking orbs smooth or lumpy? And the answer is, it depends. For example, nice, lumpy, ridged thinking orb. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Thinking orb. They're smooth brains. That's how it works.
I don't know what that is.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Mechanical Paul. We've got 3 questions left.
Right, okay.
Mechanical Paul. Since the warp is a very twisty, turny thing.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah. Do some of those in the 40k timeline feel like the heresy was last Tuesday? Can I answer this?
Yes.
Yes. Some of them think it was... For some of them it was last Tuesday. This is explicitly mentioned, I think, in the Talon of Horus, which I was talking about earlier.
It's explicitly mentioned in the Night Lords trilogy as well. They deal with this.
Because of the way it is, some people literally... A day has passed for them since they went into the warp. Some ships go into the warp and they come out 10,000 years later, and they've only been in there a couple of hours, and they have literally they've just walked out of a battle. Some people have experienced every excruciating minute of it, and it's all very crazy and cool.
And for some people, it feels like a few hundred years ago. Mm-hmm. It's also the Eye of Terror, because they retreated to the Eye of Terror afterwards, and distortions in space-time. So Talos in the Night Lords trilogy says sometimes he feels like it was 100 years ago. Sometimes he feels every minute of the 10,000 years. But he couldn't say he couldn't say how long for him the personal period of time has been. Because he spent the last 10,000 years in and out of the Eye of Terror, so it's totally weird. It's a weird thing. That's why there's more living bad guy Space Marines around than there are good guy Space Marines around from that time.
And the other thing is that your body actually gets contorted and goes weird and can sustain itself for a lot longer as well.
What, when you turn to chaos?
When you're spending a lot of time in I'm sorry. When you're spending a lot of time in the bad place,
Yeah, don't go to the bad place. Don't get invited to those sorts of parties. There's no turning back once you do. Don't turn to chaos, people.
Come hang out with me. It's cool.
Don't listen to his lies.
The game, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, the very premise, the first campaign you play in it is you play as the Imperials, and you're literally in a battle at the end of in the middle of the Horus Heresy. You're in a massive space battle. You end up getting sucked into the warp. You come out of the warp, and it's the 41st millennium, and you're still on that. You fly out onto that battlefield. Just so happens to be some chaos ships flying around still in that area, and you're like, hang on a minute.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, what's happened here? And then you just carry on fighting, but it's been 10,000 years. But to them, it had just happened, so...
That's some crazy chaos shit there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Weasel. I don't think we've had Weasel. Or maybe we have, I don't know. Weasel. Just finished the second... This is purely for you, sir.
Okay.
Because I don't know anything about this. I haven't read the Beckwin books. Just finished the second Beckwin book. Can you explain the concept of Annuncia? Do you think it will play a big role in future lore?
Yes.
What's
Annuncia?
Annuncia?
It's already playing a big role in the End and the Death and the Siege of Terra.
Okay.
So Annuncia is it's an ancient language that describes and can rewrite the fabric of reality.
Oh. Like bone singing.
like bone singing. It's a how to describe it. Enuncia is, look, in the 40k verse, symbols matter. Symbols matter. Sacrifices matter. Swirls, imagery, 3 things for Nurgle. Symbols matter. Words matter. Imagery matters. True names matter. Sigils matter. The sigillite. These things matter in the 40k verse. And if you have knowledge over symbols and sigils and things, you can do magics. And then underpinning that, we've now got this idea of Enuncia. And Enuncia is an ancient language. Probably, it's probably old one. It probably goes all the way back there, which can describe and reshape the physical world. So, for example, John Grammaticus says a word in Enuncia, and Eisenhorn also has said a word in Enuncia in books, and it has undone Chaos Space Marines and made them. It's spectacularly gross and disgusting, and vanquished their souls from existence.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds pretty epic then. Okay,
it's mentioned in the Siege of Terra books, because they mentioned the Tower of Babel, and the Tower of Babel had these words, Enuncia, and the Emperor, way back then, he tore the Tower of Babel down when it side by side with the first War Master, who turned traitor and attacked him at the Tower of Babel. But that's a whole other deep cut.
Yeah.
So Enuncia
we'll have to
is
come
a
back
thing.
to that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Maybe I should read the Beckwin books.
They're
Everyone
very
seems to
good.
be going
Have
on
you done
about it.
Eisenhorn and Ravener?
No.
You haven't done Eisenhorn.
No, I've got them like actual books, actual
You've got to do them in
readable.
order, man. Do
books.
Eisenhorn, do Ravener, do Beckwin.
Okay.
They're good.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about them. Okay. The final question is from another, I think it's another new person, called Rob Jones Letters.
Okay. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. This is from 13 days ago of the time of us doing this. So this was sort of came in between things. So
it's
it actually
an auspicious number 13.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. I know it's going to be a good one. I feel it in my water.
You might like this.
Okay.
So both of you have spoken about a love for comics, particularly 2000 AD. Yes, I love 2000 AD. If you could pick one of the Primarchs to have a graphic novel made about them, who would it be and why? And you'd gain bonus internet points for picking an artist and writer combo too. Do you like the question?
Yeah, Garth Ennis would be the writer, and a Primarch novel would be Kurz, because he's got the most interesting story arc. Well, not most, but he's a very, very complex character. Good guy Kurz, what could have been, and his fall. It's yeah.
Okay. Seeing as you've taken Kurz, I'm not going to name an artist and writer combo.
Okay.
Right, because as much as I've read a lot of comics,
Garth
and loved
Ennis
them,
and Steve Dixon.
Yeah, I haven't really picked out. The same with I've got very few directors that I love as directors. It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
I think I would go for a very good book, and it might be more in the style of 300 or something like that. Would be to have Angron's origin story in graphic novel format. I think it would suit it quite well.
It would suit 300 style very well. Yeah.
Going through like his gladiator days and forming his little forming his army, and the horrible shock ending, which made him such an angry boy. Yeah, I think that could be a real good read. It's really good art.
Yeah.
But I would definitely buy, if they made a Kurz Primarch graphic novel, I would be all over that. But it would be very much like reading an evil Batman. And there was
no. That's just, no. People say that evil. It's
visually
not evil Batman.
No. I mean visually, there's a lot of him creeping around, going through windows, skinning a woman who's trying to commit suicide. It's pretty dark. No, he's not evil Batman. I know he's not evil Batman. I know that's not.
I guess some of the
the imagery.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but that's why you'd need someone to take it. Yeah,
fresh perspective. Okay. Use something. It's too easy to do. Night Lord aesthetic is kind of gothic, dark, gothic, blah blah blah. It's too easy to use stuff that's already there as the basis for it. So I'd love to see someone who just completely turned it on its head and came up with another way of doing that. That would be fantastic.
I definitely wouldn't want to see a Fulgrim graphic novel though, because I'd like to keep my lunch down.
Yeah. There'd be some great ones. I think the Perturabo wouldn't make a great graphic novel. Lorgar would have an interesting early years of Lorgar. I think
his early story. Yeah. I mean, the coming of the Wand, the Civil War. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's some meat on those bones.
There's some meat in the bones. Yeah.
It's just that Lorgar's a bitch.
Yeah, The Lion would make an all right graphic novel depending on what they focused on. But if you had like a monster hunting book, it could be interesting. I don't know. I think you hit the nail on the head straight away.
It's just Kurz. It's just such an interesting character.
Yeah, great character.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We've done all the questions.
They're all done. That was exciting.
That was really exciting.
Thank you for asking all the questions and things. And this week I give, on average, the question on a scale of 10. I give them. Well, there was a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
There were a couple of okay ones. So I give the community, on a scale of 10, a 4.3 for this week.
Let's get it up. Let's get the average up.
It's good, but it's, it needs a bit more. If someone put a meal down and it was a 4.3, you'd think, well, they could have kept it in the oven for half hour longer.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more sauce. Maybe too much salt. 4.3 is okay. You're doing well. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you very much for your questions. We're not being ungrateful.
No, I'm not.
Please give us more questions.
This wouldn't exist without the questions. So thank you. But like many of you on your school reports,
do better.
Yes, try harder.
Try harder.
You could do so much better if you sat down and focused.
If you really focused, if you actually paid attention, you could do so much better. You got so much potential.
Someone
but
wrote
it's wasted
on a school report a couple of decades ago. Go back and read that.
Yeah,
they know what they were talking about. That's why they're called teachers. They were trying to teach you something.
Yeah.
Obviously, me and Warsmith Chris didn't get that on our school report.
No teacher ever told my parents on parents' evening that I have potential, but I waste it by drawing in the back of my book and daydreaming. That definitely didn't happen.
Yeah, and I didn't have parrots. I was genetically engineered.
Anyway, thank you very much. I love you. Honestly, I love you guys. You're right. I don't love you. No, I do love you. I take it back. I do love you.
You sound conflicted.
And it's really hard.
It's an abusive relationship. That's what it is.
It is, yeah. And I look forward to hanging out with you again, even though I can't see you. I just know that you're there. So that's lovely. Anyway, thank you. Do you have any parting words of wisdom you want to go, or should we just wave and I'll fade it to black?
Well, this might be the last one we do in the run-up to in the Happy Heresy Day.
Yeah.
So have a happy Heretic Christmas.
Yeah, a great Heresy Day. Yeah, sacrifice some people to the Dark Gods.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll love it. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Happy Heresy Day.
Bye. You should be hearing some really nice music from my friend right now that's like Christmassy.
Is there?
If you're not, if it's just the normal music, then sorry, it didn't happen. But if not, her Instagram is on the thingy. You'll see it. Anyway,
all I've got though is you in my ears. There's no nice music. Who are you talking to?
It's the magic.
Are you talking to them again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting this.